Alright, so today we're at Home Depot to grab some wood for the gifts we are wanting to create that we talked about in the first episode.
Yeah, first stop, the lumber section. I'm looking for a 1/4-inch pine plywood sheet that has a clean surface, no warping or breaks. Home Depot, unfortunately, isn't the best place to get quality sheets, but if you're willing to dig, you usually find what you're looking for. This one looks pretty good. Now, instead of wrestling with a full sheet at home, I'm getting it cut to size right here. If you didn't know, Home Depot does custom cuts, which saves a ton of time and hassle. It's super affordable and quick. The trick is to come prepared with exact measurements, makes life easier for the folks cutting it and for me when I get to work. I could easily burn an hour walking around, but today we know exactly what we need, so we're getting in and getting out.
Wood cut, easy and clean. This sheet with cuts cost us about $50. Now let's check out. One of the best things about this is we don't need to haul a full 4x8 sheet through the store. Just grab and go. Loaded up and ready to roll. Next up, getting this prepared and turned into something awesome. Recording now.
Hello, recording.
We are going to our friend's house. They just got a brand new laser machine.
The X-Tool.
The X-Tool. And it's a laser machine that you can have at home because it looks so good. And apparently it's very easy to use. So we're excited because we have this project in mind for making some gifts to give to some past clients. And today it's very snowy. Look. We are right now -16 and not so pretty out there. It is pretty, but it is not warm.
Not fun.
Not fun. We arrived to Milena's and Carrie's place. This is where the laser cutting magic happens. Before we dive in, we're setting up cameras to capture everything. Because if we don't film it, did it even happen?
A couple weeks prior, we came over to test the machine and determine the best settings for best cut and minimal burn. Before we start cutting, we need to check the settings, making sure everything's still dialed in, and of course, laying out our pieces just right. We'd rather not end up with some expensive firewood at the end. Every piece is measured and placed exactly how we planned. The laser's precise, but only as precise as how we set it up.
Alright, the moment of truth. The design is loaded, settings are locked in, and we are ready to go. Let's fire this up.
You're insane. There's something hypnotic about watching a laser cutter at work. But in case you weren't aware, you should not look at the bright light of the laser cutting as it can burn your retinas. So as completely satisfying as it is to watch, we had to look away.
You can see the laser burning through. This isn't a very thick piece, so a single pass was good enough to cut all the way. This is why getting the power and speed settings right is so important. Too much and you scorch the edges. Too little and it won't cut all the way through. At this stage, it's all about patience. The machine does its thing and we wait. Good time to grab a coffee or just stand here, mesmerized by the tiny beam of light turning wood into art.
And that's a wrap. Time to check our work. First, let's see how everything turned out. Oh yeah, that's a good sign. Some of these pieces are just dropping right out, no force needed. That's exactly what we wanted to see. And the rest, just a light push and they pop right out. That's laser precision at its best.
Now for the tiny pieces, it is crazy how small and detailed some of these are. You don't really appreciate it until you're holding them. The smell of burnt wood is still hanging in the air, like a fresh campfire. The only downfall is it lingers a bit. Zooming in, the edges are crisp, no overburn, and the details look good. Every little notch and cut is exactly what we could have hoped for. Not too bad for a second-time user of this machine. Now, we're ready for the next phase, color. And that's coming up in the next video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and stay in the loop.